Willis Anglais. Hi, Neil McPherson here, Wirksworth Gunroom. Today we have for you a double rifle in 9.3. There you are, just trying to show you that clear. Rifle clear. Now this is by Chapuis, French maker, better known on the continent than here, although I think the shotguns are starting to make a bit of an impact in the market here at present. This particular rifle, as I say, 9.3 with 74R, which is a real thumping calibre. It's almost in the same power league as 375 H&H Magnum, which is the sort of thing that people are even taking elephants down with. Perhaps this is not quite what you want to go and take an elephant down with, should you need to do so. But it's in that, it's stepping up there, and certainly more than enough capable for wild boar or even large red, anything you're going to find on the continent of Europe, which is exactly what it's for. Engraving on here shows deer, roe deer, what else have we got, wild boar, and that's exactly the purpose, particularly for the driven shooting that's so much more on the continent than it is here. So we've got this in for a customer to take a look at. So while it's here, he's coming in tomorrow, I thought I'd give you a quick look at it. Starting with the butt, we have interesting feature. It's actually got a wood butt plate, and if it isn't a wood butt plate, it is a wood butt plate. Lovely figured. It's a separate piece. You can see that there. It's rather difficult to see. You can maybe see it there. But it is a separate piece, and it's beautifully done. Absolutely beautifully done. Which you would expect in this class of firearm. Good grade of walnut. And again, you've got a cheek piece that's quite in the continental style, not as distinctive of that quite standout separate little piece that you sometimes see on a Merkel, for example. But bring it up, well, Foxy Loxy in the corner there would be getting it. Moving along, nicely engraved pistol grip cap. Further engraving. This engraving is laser engraved, and they don't pretend otherwise, but it is perfectly nicely done, and it reflects in the price of the rifle. This is rather affordable, I think, and it's a round-bodied action, very narrow. I've actually put the tape across this, and it's actually only 1.5 inches. For those more familiar with a shotgun, you might consider this is built on a 28 bore action. So it's a light little thing. In fact, we've put it on the scales. I remembered the scales this time, and just over 6.5 pounds, only a smidge over 6.5 pounds. Really lightweight thing, and it's going to be a bit lively in this caliber. I mean, these are putting out a 9.3 bullet, possibly up to 300 grains, moving out at 2,800 feet per second, possibly a bit more. I'm sure you can look up some ballistics. It is the type of cartridge that can be loaded up, loaded down, and depending what you're wanting to do with it. Now I've got this nicely engraved rib here, and what you'll be able to see perhaps just there, you can make out there's a couple of blocked points that are screwed in to enable the fitting of quick detach sights, but it comes with more than adequate express type sight. Not an express in the type of the multiple folding leaf, but it's the type you would commonly see on an express rifle. You've got a good V, quite a broad ramp up at front. There's very distinctive bead, and that really does stand out. And like I say, I can bring that up, and for me it just comes up beautifully to the shoulder. I can pick a small point like the eye on that stuffed fox over there, and it's straight on it. Absolutely every time, straight on it. 15-inch pull. Now I'm 6 foot and in most directions, but I mean that would be just about the limit for me on pull. I don't generally have a problem shooting things with a short stock, but absolutely that is just there. I'm absolutely certain you can get a variety of stock lengths, and they do these in a whole number of grades. There's various things. They will do them with hand engraved action. They will do gold inlay and all that sort of stuff. Different grades of wood. The options are immense, really. Moving on along on the action, so conventional top lever. There's no further locking. It's a box lock, Anson and Dealey, as you can see. This one's a non-ejector. There are some ejectors, and they do over and unders as well. Manual safety. I suppose the thinking there is that if you've got a boar belting along about to skittle you, you don't want to have forgotten to put the safety off. So that could get interesting in ways that might not be entirely pleasant. Lever action for the fore end. Here we are, and some further details. You can see the level of workmanship is extended to the bits that you don't see, and try and get that snap back on there. Really solid fit, which of course you want on this type of rifle. Now, interestingly, no sling swivels, which are commonly fitted on the continent. So whether that's because it was intended for the British market and they thought, oh, Brits never have sling swivels, so we won't put them on. But I would probably want sling swivels on this rifle, but perhaps others wouldn't. 21.5-inch barrel thereabouts. This is one I'm definitely not going to get my steel rule out and be clattering around, so I've measured it carefully with the dressmaker's tape earlier. And all in all, just an absolute joy to handle. So light. Absolutely fantastic. Double trigger on this model. Again, I'm fairly sure there's a single trigger. You know, we can, if you want to know, get in touch and we will find out for you. So, all in all, if you're thinking of going onto the continent, they do these also in 8x57 IRS or JRS, depending how you read it. It's IRS, I think. But anyway, it's 8x57 Mauser rimmed. And there's also, I think, 7x57 and probably some other possibilities too. So yeah, if you fancy going off onto the continent, it is so much easier now than it was historically. You've got the internet, you can look up, find somebody who's offering a driven bore over there, and generally police forces don't seem to complain too much about 9.3. I know cases are still happening where if somebody is put down for 375 H&H Magnum, which, as I say, is about the same energy as this, you know, maybe 100 feet per second faster, but not significantly different, and they go, oh, it's only for dangerous game, you can only have ammunition once you've left the UK, and all this sort of stuff. But they don't seem to bat an eyelid at 9.3, and I don't know why, but certainly that might swing you more towards the 9.3. I believe if you were taking it over down to Africa, for example, you might find that in certain jurisdictions 375 H&H Magnum is the absolute bottom line, and they may not accept 9.3. But of course, if you're buying this type of rifle, you're going to do that kind of research, and we'd be happy to look into it for you too. So yeah, absolutely tidy, lovely thing, sits in the hand, and as I say, comes up beautifully, and just a great bit of kit. So I thought we'd like to share it with you and get you a good look at this utterly beautiful rifle. There it is. So thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video. There's more double rifles and other things coming up. You're interested in one of these or anything else we can find for you, just drop us an email, address is down below, usual sort of stuff, and in the meantime, thanks very much for watching. Sadly, a complete lack of sanglier, the wild boar. Only one porker in here, unfortunately.